I don't understand how the NHL sits there and goes, the puck has to be clearly over the line in order for it to be a goal. Jordan Binnington's glove was behind the goal line. The puck clearly went into his glove. Like, well, we couldn't see the puck. We couldn't see it. But you know where it is. You know where his glove was. He even pulled it out. It's in my glove. I got it.
I disagree, though. You're talking about if it was in, and I heard the fake news Sportsnet talk about it too. They thought the puck was in the back of the webbing, which it was not. It was on the fingertips, so it was more towards the front of the glove. So it was right along the goal line. That's why I believe they didn't call it a goal.
But if he cups it in, like he's not holding it there going, no. That made it to the back of the glove. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't think it changes the end result. Mm-hmm. I think it's a much tighter game in that third period, much tighter game than what we saw. If the Jets get a little bit of that momentum. If anything, I think it put the brakes on. Mm-hmm. And they were so focused on that. I think the NHL made the wrong call.
We could sit here till the cows come home and pigs fly, and I start finding sane women in my life again, but whether it was a goal or not, or a save, do you think it's bad for the game when they spend that much time reviewing it and they've paused all the momentum? And listen, I understand there's a reason why they have review. We want to get the calls right. For example, the Brett Hull. That's exactly why you have review. But at some point, do we have to just let them play and understand that there is human error involved in the game? There's going to be a missed call here. There's going to be a missed call there. Let's just play the game and keep it rolling.
Do you remember the Chicago White Sox game where
I don't watch baseball.
There was a pitcher who got absolutely robbed of a perfect game at first base.
I remember that. That.
And the first base umpire, even after the media went to him and he goes, I blew that call. And he owned it. If we're going to, as you said, let the players play, then we got to let the referees do their job. And sometimes, and I know we have coaches' challenges and whatnot, and I get it. I understand what they're trying. They're trying to get the game right. Mm-hmm. But as much as there's human error with the players, there's human error with the referees. And I would like to see the referees be part of a media scrum after.
Hey,
especially the officials. What were you thinking of that call? And if they say, I blew that one, nothing we can do about it now, I would have much more respect for the game and the officiating if they were held accountable.
Well, Dusty Emu, goalie coach for the Winnipeg Jets, for the LA Kings, the Toronto Maple Leafs, we have him come up on the show for the summer interview series. He even talked about when you get to that level, when whether it's the Jets, the Leafs, whatever, everybody's assholes are so puckered, skin tight. There's no room for error. And so if you think they're not letting the players say anything, we're just trying to get pucks in deep and 20 miles and 20 miles. We're trying to get 2 points and on to Cincinnati. And it's just a great pass, great team. We're working hard. They're a bunch of great guys. If you think that's bad, you imagine what the NHL would have with the referees? They're never going to have the referees doing media.
No.
I would love the goalie coaches to come out. Dustin Schwartz, goalie coach for the Edmonton Oilers. Dusty, you've been goalie coach for 10 years. Every goalie that you have coached has been dog shit. They leave and they go on to do great things somewhere else.
Dwayne Rolson, he was good.
This is...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So pretty much like Devin Dubnyk onward, every goalie they've had, you were dog shit in Edmonton when you were working with them. Laurent Brossoit, you guys ran him out of town, wins the Stanley Cup with Vegas, stud for the Winnipeg Jets. I'd be curious what you do with Stuart Skinner if you moved him somewhere else. But if you were to interview goalie coaches, I think that'd be great. Interview the referees, that'd be great. And just take the reins. I mean, I get it. The fake news media, the TSN, the phonies, the fat geeks and nerds are to completely blame because they're just swimming like sharks in water trying to find anything they can to write a news report on, even if it's fake, which half of it is because they've lost all credibility. But it would be great if they had goalie coaches and referees doing media.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do our voicemails, do you want to take the giant, big, steaming Stanley steamer on Stuart Skinner? That's 5 S's. Wow, I got a small mouth and a big tongue. I just ripped through that.
Well, we had our choice of, and really quickly before we get into Stuart Skinner, I want to address something really quickly, just back to the Winnipeg Jets. Logan Stanley, since you mentioned an S.
Oh, he sent Kyrou back to Flin Flon with that hit.
That was an overrated hit. It was a good hit. It wasn't a great hit. It wasn't Dustin Byfuglien and Mark Stone, but they made it sound like it was. It was a good hit.
It's like Walmart Dustin Byfuglien.
It was a good hit. Did Kyrou keep playing? Sure did. Did he score a goal? Sure did. It wasn't as big of a hit. Did Logan Stanley do something right? Yay! I'll give you a perfect example. I was sitting down for Game 2 at a tavern down in South Pembina here in Winnipeg with a friend of mine who's actually from the UK.
Can I just say you're like CEO of the I Hate Logan Stanley Club?
No. Look, and it's funny because my boy Carl Watson, who's a fellow YouTuber.
Oh yeah.
His wife Jamie, she is a Jets fan, a hockey
enthusiast.
I wouldn't say enthusiast. She likes the game Her family likes the game. But she's like, is Logan Stanley, she asked me, she's like, honestly, is Logan Stanley as bad as everyone says? I said, look, Logan Stanley has a lot of upside. He's a big boy. Having him out on the ice is very intimidating. You need to know when he's on the ice because he can make big hits like that. He's at a point right now where the Winnipeg Jets are hoping he ends up like a Tyler Myers. They're hoping that he ends up eventually, hopefully, like a Zdeno Chara, who started off his career like a newborn calf on skates. They're hoping he gets there. He's starting to show a little bit of that in the playoffs, but he's still a liability. He had a great hit. I hope he builds on that. I really, really do, because I think he could be a good hockey player. He has a lot of upside. His downside has been hindering him a lot. As of right now, he's looking good. I hope he can build on that. Back to Stuart Skinner.
Hey, more hockey content. It might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?